Good morning and welcome to the first session on Chapter 4, the theory of firm under perfect competition. This is going to be a very interesting session and an important chapter in economics. This is the first time we are going to learn about the word called as perfect competition. Now, we all know that there is competition in every sphere, in every walk of life. But is there a word called as perfect competition? Let's look into it. Going on with the first slide, we are going to talk about the three important factors under perfect competition. The first one is called as profit maximizer. The second one is called as supply curve. And the third one is called as market supply curve. Now, what is this word called as profit maximizer? What do you mean by profit maximization in total? Every firm that exists in this world, they do it because for the sake of profit. How much would you be happy in terms of earning profit? Would it be 100? Would it be 1,000? Would it be in lakhs or in crores? The answer to this question is infinity. The reason why I start an industry is to earn profits. And when I say the word profit, I want it to be the highest level possible. I would not just stop with the factor saying that I have made my profits for today. So for tomorrow, what is the answer? What would be my profit levels altogether? So as an industry perspective, my aim, my ambition would be to see that I maximize my profits in each and every step of production. So when I go to the market with the aim of selling my products, I would see that each and every product that I sell gets the maximum margin, gets the maximum profit. So when I come back and I tell in the market that my name is so and so, for example, if I am Maruti car or if I am a Hyundai, whatever be the brand, whenever I sell my product in the market, people should recognize my name as the best selling product, as the best selling company altogether. Today, when Hyundai comes up with a car or Maruti comes up with a car, they want to ensure that every single consumer who's going to buy the car from them will feel happy about the product, that they have bought the best brand available in the market. So the aim of the company would be to maximize the profit at any given instance. Moving forward, supply curve. Whenever we talk about supply, it's quite interesting. Why? Because who is the person who's supplying the product to the market? Many a times people answer to this saying that the company itself. That is quite right, but then we need to understand the intricacies behind it. Supply curve means that at any given point of time, the general availability of the product in the market. So anytime when you go to the market and you want to buy a Colgate toothpaste, so you go to the nearby shop and you ask for Colgate toothpaste. If it is available in the shop, then you feel happy. Why? Because the consumer asked for a product and you are getting that product on time. So at any given point of time, when the product that is requested by the consumer is available at his convenience, we call that as the supply curve. Now, what is the difference between market supply curve and the supply curve altogether? Market supply curve will be decided upon the need of the product at that particular juncture. So which means to say that every time the product need not be available. Depending upon the demand of the product in the market, there will be a supply curve that would be initiated. So that is where we are going to talk about market supply curve. Just to give an example, in the current situation, during the time of crisis, all of us need to have a mask. So mask is the need of the hour. At that point of time, the market will take into position, will take into consideration the supply of mask. So the mask will be produced depending on the demand that is being created in the market. So that is what we call as the market supply curve. So the market will decide which product at what instance need to be supplied at what rate. So that is what we are going to talk about in terms of market supply curve. So quick recap, 3 factors: profit maximizer, supply curve and market supply curve. Profit maximizer means the aim and intention to maximize my profit at any given point of time. Supply curve means availability of the product at any per time in the market. Market supply curve means depending upon the need, depending upon the demand, the availability of the product in the market. Going forward, we are going to talk about the features of perfect market competition. Now, as I told you in the beginning, is there a word called as perfect market or a perfect competition altogether? The reason behind this is that moment the word competition comes into our mind, it means that we are trying to compete against each other. Going with our same example of Maruti versus Hyundai, they are 2 car manufacturing companies. So when a person or when an industry manufactures a car, let's say Maruti comes up with a car and Hyundai comes up with a car, the ideology here is that A will compete against B. So if Maruti is producing Ertiga and Hyundai is producing Creta, the aim of both the companies is to compete against each other, not to cooperate against each other. They will see that which sells more, which brand is more powerful, which brand the consumer likes. So competition itself is to create an urge to fight against each other to prove one is better than the other. But when we come to the word called as perfect competition, that means the situation is entirely different. In this situation, we are going to talk about the large number of buyers and sellers and homogeneous product. Now, moment I say large number of buyers and sellers, which means there are equal number of buyers, equal number of sellers. If there are 1,000 sellers, there are 1,000 buyers. So the seller does not have to worry about the buyer. Whatever I am going to sell in the market today, there is a buyer available. So I don't have to go in search of the buyer. There is a buyer already available in the market. All I have to do is sell the product in the market. The buyer will automatically come to me and take the product. So it's very simple. It's perfect. It's aligned up to the mark in such a way that I just go to the market, there is a buyer waiting for me and my product is going to be sold. The buyer is just ready to buy the product from me. So absolutely no marketing cost coming into picture. But this is only theoretical. This is only an assumption factor. This cannot be in the reality. My second thing, homogeneous product. When I say the word homogeneous, that means only one kind of product, only one particular type of product. We are not going to manufacture n number of products. So going back to our example of Maruti and Hyundai, we are not going to talk about the versions that are available. We are just going to take one car into instance. Suppose Maruti is producing one car. There's only one car that is available. That's the only variety that is available in the market. And the consumer is only going to buy that one particular product. So when I say homogeneous, only one variety, one type of product. Next one, entry into the market and exit out of the market. Now, for example, tomorrow I want to start a car manufacturing company or I want to start a small shop in a particular place. Is it so easy for me that I just walk in, start a shop, and tomorrow if I decide that I don't like that shop, I'll just close it and keep walking out? In the case of perfect market competition, yes, it is possible. So we believe that entry and exit into the market is at the will and wish of the industry. The industry can come any day, open a shop, Tomorrow, if the industry decides that it is not working out well for me, let me just close the shop and exit out of the market. So we believe entry and exit at free of cost, at will and wish. There is going to be no sort of terms and conditions that are going to come forward. You can enter whenever you want, you can exit whenever you want. So entry and exit into the market absolutely at no cost, at no terms and conditions. It's purely at the will and wish of the firm altogether. The next one, information is perfect. That is very, very important. And we are also going to talk about the size of the market. So these two terms, information is perfect and size of the market. Why these two things matter a lot to us? In the environment where we live today, there is a lot of information around you. There is a lot of things that are happening around you. But do we know all the things that are happening around us? The answer is no. We only tend to collect information about selective things that concern to us on a day-to-day basis. But apart from that, there are millions and millions of data that is floating around. But we don't tend to spend time in terms of understanding it. In this situation, in this perfect market competition, the information is perfectly available to all the consumers, which means everybody knows everything that is happening around them. They don't have to worry. They don't have to think further. Where is the information? Information is right in your hands. You don't have to think at all, because you know the size of the market. You know this is the market. This is the number of sellers. These are the number of buyers. The size and the dimensions are perfectly known to you. So every information is rightly fed into your mind. You don't have to think further at all. You just step into the market, you will get what you want. So in the perfect market competition itself, it is like a tailor-made situation for you. You just have to go into the market, ask for the product, there is a seller available for you at the price and he is ready to give it to you, and you are their satisfied customer. So this is why in perfect market competition, things look to us in a way where everything is being made specifically for you. But in reality, competition is not about this. Competition is all about trying to edge over the other. So in perfect market competition, going with a quick recap, these are the points that we need to keep in mind. Large number of buyers and sellers, homogeneous products, entry and exit into the market at your convenience, will and wish. You have all the information that you need to trade in the market, to buy in the market, and you also know the dimensions of the market. You know the number of buyers and sellers, who is selling what. Everything is perfectly fit for you. Going forward, price-taking behavior, an entirely a new concept or a new dimension when it comes to a consumer. As a consumer, when we walk into any shop today, we always would like to ask this question: what is the price? And we are not going to accept the price that is going to be given or told by the shopkeeper. For example, I go to a mobile shop and I ask the price of a mobile phone. That person says 17,999. Immediately I am taken back. I am not going to pay that price. I will go and bargain with the shopkeeper and I will say that, sir, I checked up the e-commerce websites like Amazon, like Flipkart. The price is different. There he was quoting me 16,500. Somewhere else it was 15,995. But why are you quoting 17,999? What I am primarily trying to convince or convey to you is that I am not a person who will take price. I am a person who will argue on price. I will try to bargain on the price. But in the case of perfect market competition, I have a behavior called as price-taking behavior. You throw the price at me and I am ready to pay the price. So a consumer here is ready to take the product and not argue on the price. So the consumer will walk into the shop, he will ask the product, the seller will say the product is available at 100 rupees, the consumer is ready to pay that 100 rupees, take the product and keep walking. He is not going to bargain, he is not going to argue, he is not going to ask for the second time that, sir, can you reduce the price? What is the discount offer you have? Will I get something free with this product? Nothing is going to be questioned. All is going to ask is, sir, do you have the product? And the answer is yes, and for that yes, he is ready to pay a price, take the product, keep walking. So price taking behavior means the behavior or the attitude that the consumer carries in terms of accepting the price that is being thrown on him. He is not going to bargain, or he is not going to ask for the second time, sir, will there be a change in price? So whatever price is being shown, he is ready to pay the price and take the product, go home. So this is what we call it as price taking behavior. Moving forward. Now, we are going to understand this word revenue. Very, very important concept in economics. What is revenue altogether? In this slide, you will be able to see some people are working in an industry. There is some production activity happening. Because of the production, money is coming. So the concept of production itself leads to revenue. We work in a company, we work in an industry, and we produce something. So in this case, let's take the example of Hyundai, because we were in the car company example. Hyundai will manufacture a car and sell the car in the market. By selling that car or by selling that product, Hyundai will make some revenue, which means they will make some income. So the concept of revenue is when you manufacture something and when you sell that product in the market, we call that as revenue. Now, revenue is not equal to profit. Let me make it very, very clear here. Revenue is not equal to profit, because from revenue, you have to subtract lot of factors, that is your expenditure and other factors. Then you will arrive at the net income, which is called as profit. But here, revenue means to us price into quantity. We will see about this in the next slide. Right now, revenue means to us production, that product is being produced, sold in the market. By selling that product, we are making some income. So that is revenue to us. Moving forward. Now, we are going to understand about the total revenue, the formula behind it. For any product in this world, there are two factors. One is price and the second one is the attributes or the quality. In economics, we are more worried about price rather than the qualitative factors. So the first thing that we are going to learn in total revenue is the price of the product. That's what you see here on the slide. Price of the product. So the price of a car, let's say it is 1 lakh rupees. How much cars are being produced by that company? Suppose Hyundai produces 10 cars. That means 1 lakh being the price of one car, 10 cars being produced, 1 lakh multiplied into 10, that is 10 lakhs. So total revenue is equal to price into quantity. How much is the price? How much is the quantity? When you multiply both the factors, you will get the total revenue. Moving forward, the revenue curve. This is a very, very important graph that you need to know in this particular chapter. Why this is important? We are going to again take two factors here, price and quantity. Now, if you look into the graph, you will get a dotted line which will talk about price is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to average revenue. What is that we are trying to make you understand in this entire factor? We are trying to say here that price determines your marginal revenue or your average revenue, because whatever price you are selling, it is at that rate we are going to determine your revenue. If the price becomes 0 and then you multiply it with quantity, the entire revenue will become 0. So based on your price will be your equivalent factors of your marginal revenue and average revenue. Whatever price you set will be directly a component towards your revenue. So that's why when you see the total revenue curve going up like a trajectory projection, when you see in the graph, That is our total money that we have earned by selling that product at a particular price into the number of goods. So the total revenue curve again is a graphical representation of the formula itself. What is the formula which we learned? Total revenue is equal to price into quantity. The same thing is being depicted here in the form of graph. So again we have price and we have quantity. Price into quantity will give us the total revenue curve. Now, this would be the concluding part of today's session. I hope and I understand and believe that you have learned something new today in terms of the theory of perfect competition, revenue, and the price-taking behavior. Thank you for joining me today on this wonderful session. Hope to see you again in the next session where we will be talking about average revenue and the various other factors of the perfect market competition. Until then, stay tuned, stay learning, and grow with economics. Thank you once again for joining me today.